Hello, this is Greg Myers with Ann Hogan Associates. Welcome to our session about Ask Ann. Today, Gary Cantrell and we're going to talk a little bit about the risks and myths of instant offers. Okay? Gary, you did some research last year, and instant offers, they came into our market, and they've got a place. But we also learned that homeowners gave up a lot of equity.
They did, Greg. And last year we did some research from January 1st through about the end of September. And what we found was that homeowners, when selling to an iBuyer, basically gave up $2.3 million in equity that they could have earned or got when they went the traditional route. In most cases, when the seller owner sold to an iBuyer, that company basically put that home back on the market within 2 to 3 weeks on an average, and again purchased, flipped it, put it on the market, and pocketed $2.3 million that the homeowner, had they went the traditional route or inquired about going the traditional route, would have made that equity.
Okay, now is this for all of Middle Tennessee, or is this for one particular county, or how?
This was Rutherford County.
Just Rutherford County.
Yes, 2.3. Just keep that in mind for the first, basically January through the end of September.
Right. So and that was a little over 6 months. So hey, we work with sellers all the time. There's a place and a time, for a quick sell, easy button, and whatever. There was a large company a couple weeks ago that it was in the news. The Federal Trade Commission had looked into it and found that they had made some misleading claims, and they ended up having to pay a large amount of money for that.
They did, Greg, and it was the Federal Trade Commission, and here's the ruling and the decision that came down, and it was $62 million that was filed against them, and that they readily said, we'll pay the fine. Mm-hmm. Basically, it was for deceptive practice, basically saying that if you went their way, you would save money on fees, and that they did not profit from the resale. And as Federal Trade Commission went through and did their due diligence, they found that that was all false claims.
Mm-hmm. And once again, there's always a time, for that quick sell, and it's needed, and maybe there's not the money to fix up the property, whatever. I think the message needs to be to any seller is just make sure you get all the information.
Ask questions. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor, you kind of question it. You always, want to get a second opinion. And that's what I would just recommend, is always ask, have open-ended questions, and, seek other advice just to make sure that you're comfortable with whatever decision that you're going to make.
Because a lot of times what we've seen is you can take these numbers, but it also depends on what point you start at. Okay, and it really ends up with the net. When the different costs and stuff are figured in. So that's what our message is today, and that's what we wanted to expand a little bit on. So if you have any more questions, and just remember, you can click the link below, and also make sure you ask Ann.